Nate, Nuguya Mervayadina, Wawa, Nuguya Mervayadina, Balabarado, Suraniganai, Lamura Ulega, Familia, Balabarado, Suraniganai, Lamura Ulega, Familia.
Okay, how you doing, guys? How you doing? We got Christopher Miles, and we got a special guest. I'm Angel Valerio. We got a special guest, Juan Carlos Sanchez, who knows a lot about the Garifuna community, who's an artist, a singer, who's also a very spiritual person. Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes, Juan Carlos. ¿Puedes hablar un poco de usted para que el público y la gente los conozca un poco?
Primeramente, agradecer al Creador por esta oportunidad y por ustedes también que han tenido esa iniciativa de poder llegar hasta nosotros acá a Guatemala por este medio. Y dar muchísimas, infinitas gracias a los ájaris, a nuestros protectores que también nos van guiando en este camino. Mi nombre es Juan Carlos Sánchez Álvarez. Yo soy de Guatemala, vivo aquí en Livingston, pues anuente a compartir con ustedes conocimientos en lo que esté a mi alcance para compartirlo.
Okay. Yeah, he wants to basically introduce himself. His name is Juan Carlos Sanchez Alvarez. He wants to thank the spirit of our ancestors. And he wanted to thank us for giving him this platform to be able to share with the public about the Garifuna culture, all his knowledge, and also to be able to recognize La Buga, Guatemala, Livingston, where he's from as well. So,
welcome, Juan Carlos.
Thank you.
First, I want to say is I love La Buga, man. I've been there twice. La Buga is a beautiful, I almost call it a country because you got to take a boat to get there. It's like an island of its own, but it's got such character. It's beautiful, man. I love it every time I go, man. So,
thank you.
Musette na nalga frumie ¿quién fue que fundó Guatemala La Buga para la gente que nos conoce? ¿Quién fue que fundó? ¿Qué año lo fundaron? Pues yo miré unas cosas que tú siempre publicas en Facebook y me encanta que el público sepa eso, la fundación de La Buga, y habla un poco de eso. I asked him to talk about what year did the Garifuna went to La Buga, or what, how was it created per se? So you talk a little bit about that. ¿Y qué año también? ¿Y qué año llegaron los Garifuna ahí?
Sí. Según la historia, los Garífunas llegaron acá en el año 1802, dirigidos por el señor Marcos Sánchez, quien era el líder principal, y se establecieron acá en las riberas del río dulce. Y originalmente bautizaron este lugar con el nombre de Gulfuyumo por estar cercano a la desembocadura del río. Y también una garifunización de la palabra boca del río. Los comunitarios empezaron a llamarle la buga. Entonces, según la historia, se cuenta que llegaron 150 personas con el señor Marcos Sánchez Díaz, en los cuales pues las negociaciones con el gobierno en ese entonces lograron establecerse y crear esta comunidad.
¿Eran 150 garífunas o 150 diferentes personas que llegaron a la isla?
Según la historia eran garífunas. Garífunas
Okay.
provenientes de allá de Honduras, 5 años después de la llegada de San Vicente.
¿Y lo trajo Marcos Sánchez?
Exacto, Marcos Sánchez.
Okay. So he basically said that the American Marcos Sanchez went to La Buga on 1802. And it was basically 150 Garifuna that ended up going to La Buga. They had different names at first. One of the names, Kafrume iri le bengwe nu le liri La Buga le hichu be luago frume.
Gulfu Iyumu.
Gulf. The first name was Gulfu Iyumo. Katilile belela chumag.
Desembocadura del río.
Okay. Eletia Katishu ne La Buga. Okay. Katishu ne La Buga luagi.
La guahubelu la buga, la duga anyahe la giriga marenga ditia chumaga buidu, usetia yabuti harengu, la boca del río. La boca.
Okay.
Harengu, la buga, la buga.
Okay.
Según
Yeah, so,
giriga Buyeii.
okay. Yeah, so for the story that he said that the name La Buga, because one of the names was called La Boca del Rio. Since they didn't speak Spanish, they spoke Arriba, they didn't speak Spanish, they were trying to say La Boca del Rio instead of saying La Boca. That's the mouth of the ocean, La Boca del Rio. So instead of saying that, they said La Buga. That's how the name ended up being La Buga.
Okay.
From that.
Okay.
You know? ¿Y quién era Marcos? ¿Y quién era Marcos Sánchez?
Bueno, cuenta la historia que él fue un líder, una persona conocedor de la armonización con los recursos naturales, y con base a eso algunos le denominaron como un curandero, un conocedor de las ciencias espirituales. Un gran ejemplo de eso fue cuando ninguna persona, recordemos que en ese entonces vivían los mayas unos años antes del otro lado del río, pero ellos venían a este lugar para cazar animales para comer, pero nunca pudieron vivir aquí porque habían muchos mosquitos, muchas plagas que los ahuyentaban. Y Marcos Sánchez Díaz, con sus aliados, conocedores también de sistemas espirituales, sanearon el lugar, curaron el lugar y ahuyentaron a esos animales, y ellos pudieron vivir aquí. Prácticamente Marcos Sánchez Díaz fue es un líder espiritual, es un ente principal de la sobrevivencia de la cultura garífuna.
Okay. I asked him who was Marcos Sanchez Diaz, the person that brought them to La Buga. So he said that Marcos Sanchez Diaz was a spiritual healer. He said, on the other side of the island, there was the Mayans were living there, so they didn't live in La Buga at that time because there was a lot of mosquitoes, you know. So but Marcos Sanchez, since he was a spiritual healer, they ended up healing the place and basically cleaning the place up. So that's what, you know, that's what he was saying right now.
So Marcos Sanchez, where did he bring the Garifuna from? Where did they originally come from?
Halina Galadeira Marco Sanchez Garifuna Lula Nugane Halila
Honduras.
Honduras.
Okay.
Honduras. Kati Wagala Nugane. Why he bring him there?
Según Aburhatia, según ha subudi habutian logo uragale, anihi mehasaragu kate Honduras le michuguti lugaru lu hadaira gu hongo buidu. So abati halu ha am flasu lugawara bela trangi lubaya lani. Geti anyahi lubai garina gu nyudu tia nigara on balising duma wadimal halu hanyameme flasu le luti habagari dunyi sini murusu chouchouti.
No, ligue everything na busa rubo na subu nenengo kate woge le gufrana na neria kala wagu dala hachilu bekerina gu yurumengel hachilu rubada kala wagu aba hidi aba parte migarawa hidi aba parte la buga hidi aba parte belisi kala wagu merete hubei sungu bei indura lu ligue uti gufrana na. And I asked him why did once the Garifuna ended up going to from St. Vincent, Roatan, why they all dispersed, why they separated. One went to Guatemala, Nicaragua, Belize. Why didn't they stay together as unity and stuff like that? That's why I asked.
Aí telemo gufarana no boi que gibe lá lueri e chigdana gibe te hawiri alidhetia lumongeti lueri luru do lem hanyibe undura digeti la susere do be fana ngo lira lido am wener ud am ye wener hanishu kara aba hadage alidhetia garifuna lu garifuna do diferente tipo de liderazgo. Entonces, Leti Gufrana no ve logo Marcos Sanchez Díaz, Buseti lá aba flaso hon garinagu de luti habagar de drangil. La diga la drangilu Honduras lido bridan lira luma urui. Hamageti am brination ha alho be hagum chawag de garifuna duo. Abati hodi lido am flaso.
Oh, okay, yeah. At that time, there wasn't that many peace in Honduras, right? The leaders were basically everywhere. They had different thoughts, different view of how things were, and they couldn't live in Honduras at peace. So Marco Sanchez wanted to take them somewhere so they could have peace, so they could basically live and have their own. Because in Honduras, the government in Honduras, even to this day, they were always trying to destroy their culture per se. That's why a lot of people went to different places, because they didn't agree with the viewpoint of some of the Garifuna leaders, and also with the government of Honduras at that time. That's what everybody went to different places to be able to live and be at peace. So, okay, le nabuseru bay aduma hato loagu idelea idelea babelu lidon le loagu bay wanichigu loagu bi enga mutu lutu nagerede ya beiga kala wagu bagi buda kala idele liabi sun katele bun hawagu bi buye no idele pego le pog idele batati we buga ibunile. How you started walking this path as a spiritual healer, Kamabuye, because I remember at one time he lived in the United States. He ended up moving back to Guatemala, La Buga. So when he started walking this path as a spiritual person?
Dari hanali bay lida sunka tele lao anyahe la idu henyuwa ha asgra gudtiya subudi lu haneba fa kegbere hamun guya lidege lilinia Marco Sanchez Niabi.
Oh,
sun ti wugiri ha narguti banya alidi hatiage lida lawanse rugarifuna hayabi miha Biabe Monarguti, Legirbe Feliciano Sanchez, Abam Haweri Mutu, Bemhe Nibagari Gili, Hanichuguti, Logum Hadan Ligira, según Layan Junio Logo Marihuti, Dabuya Barugu, pero Hamanyen, Hanichuguti Harins, Hebben Logo Garifuna Duo, Garitile Aguyali, Ligiati Ladagu Uremu, Luchugu, Ludugu, Icha Ligia Idere Bugu, Hong Alidi Hatia, High Seri Alidi Hatia, Garifuna Duo, Largi Feliciano Sanchez, Aba Largdini Narguti, Antonio Sanchez, Obole Luge Gawara Bela, Lideha, Lida Lulu La Faraga Dagu, Katilau Garifuna, Lidege, Lanishu, Lidege La Figne, Log Bungyu, Log Mu. Largiti Lira, Aba Lasgirun, Wadang Manle Nu, Ke Aba Ibari, Abage Hanua Dirunina Ahari, Lu Nasiru, Awadi Marida, Dida Ubulir. Lumageti Nyura Gidna, Sandino Muti, Arihanei, Lida Yan Lamri Lulu Naser Bidunia, Hahari Wayunagu, Memegi, Lida Delesed Beirumunau, Aba Nahirogu, Lido Leaba Obole, Haninu Familia, Halogo by Hadumre Hawahari, Sabariti La Duragu, Saragu Dan, I Gabriele Noi Luna Saminaru, Hawagu Ahari, Lari Geti Dan dele Nawaya Dutima, Abe Hanua Dirunina Ahari, Buego Najabo Bala Home, Turagi Udabuya Balida Fienile, Sanyiti Narihe Latatiru, Gada Tinalun Najabo Bala, Nidhe Bala, Lida Leumbe Wagura Chumaga Espiritualidad. Aba Napikiru Aba Lugaru Lelanina Adunde Hani. Lelanina Gagamba dini Lelanina Lanagini wa Dumuri. Aba Haguaru, Wayuna Gulu Obolira Onagale. Lubara ke meha Nadagaru Lido, Ebugunile Anihim Aba Weri Mutu, Basilio Castillo Liri, Home Hagua Wayunagu Onagale. Diriwan Lira Chumaga dirigente. En sí, Lijabu Boyaba Onagale. Dele uala Buyeii, lu administrar lani, lu larihi luagu, la neg sun wadang manu, plasu lida lubidu, lumage lu hanangu girige hamagwa, lida aba. Niti la tatraha, aguaruni le nuagu lu naserbidu hon ahari.
Okay. Marcos Sanchez, Garifuna Ugo Leo, Kateha. Aí não tubiliao ya.
Delta Fendiruba Iliao a Marcos Sanchez Diaz, según Nagamu Neuraga, Ayan Horgut. Aba Gavena Diwala, Aba Layan Huni o Luagu Idalian La Larihu Tida Wena di Tugu Aba La Di Brunio. So Biama Yotitiwe Yao to. Aba de Larihu Nila o Chumag La Lidi Brigalati Matilura, Anuhegeti Abe Liawa, Aguri Biharuti Lidi Bri, pero Afra Digelur. Biama Yotitiwe Yao to, pero Adumre Horgut Yao. Son retrato hablado.
Por gay for na idea.
Garifun. Uriti.
Okay.
Uriti Lila.
Okay. Yeah, so he said a lot. I'm gonna try to remember a lot of the stuff he said. So he basically said he's basically a messenger. Onagle is a messenger, right? That's his job, a messenger, because it's different. There's different parts in the spiritual in a spirituality. There's different different things that we call each other. But the spirit got him as he calls him. He's like a messenger and stuff for the spirit, for the ancestors. So he at the age of 7. At the age of 7, he's been guided to this path. Like he also comes from the line of Marcos Sanchez, the person that brought them there. That's his lineage. He comes from that line, and he had different grandfathers and different family members that also walked that path as a spiritual person. So he's always been a part. He's always been a part of a part of his life. You know, it's always been in him and stuff like that. So yeah, so I'm me leaving right there because that you said a lot, but that's a lot of things that I captured in English and
I
stuff.
have him take shorter breaks, so you good.
Yeah, exactly.
So let me ask him,
Memory. Okay.
what is the difference between a buye and a messenger?
¿Cuál es la diferencia de un buye lumalo onagle? Kaliyabu be buye, kaliyabu be onagle. Liga la busero ugele la subuduni.
Okay, le onagle bay aba girige le lube lagambu ne hayanu wagabrigo lulidi ishige hon haluba ya hasubdrago hongo. I onagle diferencia lani onagle luma buye madagati ahari logo onagle. La diga dele lome ha buye onagle be ariha loago sun le lube la nugi flash. Liga sian lube lome ha aba onagle. Dele la belu buye lido aba trance anhi aba representarti lu wala nimuru sumegeti la riegwa lu balagara ragu lidage la riram lidage la wenru buye aba girige le gawarati larihi yage lu logie barana onagle yarge balagu ligri lugudi lariha agamba rgube kahiti buye agamba ligia ariha dise gawarati larengu buye aba kati le susere dubai ahe wahalu billa buga gati larengu lagu le susere dubai riti gole balis ahe onagle wati lida onagle liga diferencia bilan buye luma onagle.
Okay. Yeah, messenger. Basically, the spirit don't. You know, a buye gets into trance. A messenger doesn't get into trance. A buye could see far beyond that, like beyond the river. Like he could see far beyond. A messenger cannot see, but he can listen. He can't see that far. You know. And then when a buye is in trance or onagle is there to help him, he's basically like a helper. The messenger. That's it's a different. A buye can see far beyond. A messenger cannot see far beyond, and the spirit cannot go. Basically they can't get into him like the way a buye would. You know, these are the two different things of a messenger and also a buye.
Is there a difference between the spiritual work that they can do? Like, can a messenger do the spiritual work, or do they can only relay the message?
Si el mensajero o un águila, si él puede ser el mismo trabajo que un buye, o solo es el buye que puede hacer trabajo y solo es el mensajero consigue el mensaje y dicho que no es un guille.
Okay, puiti algo de handile. Interesante pregunta. Bunda nagelao. Wadumne alubege lo hago wafinye ya wadimal. Lelani na wadimal. Narengu bu itara laduga deleme habasi habai waduhe balisige wari yahon alha hara jage hanege dumurele onagle be lubalisi. Dumuri le iri le onagle aba lagu yu yage lubalisi. Pero lida ti ebu le lani na wadimalu de le la susere dubai la fidiru iri le la duga buga la chilera la dan lu la buye yalabu. Abati hayabi ahari lu hanua diru aba girigia lu leibugu hoba ahari ha buga buye banyadeni bagarigi. Yeta nihe lu boy buga diriwana. Diga nihe lu boy onagle lubuga laredero adige wadagmanu le ladige be Buyeii le me moegil tisi lege aba dan me ha la gumho Buyeii jala buga log me ha aba dan aba la nua diruniwa aba girigia lu larara mu le mego me Buyeii ka wegi ladiga uwalim aba lome la gumho Buyeii ligi Regino Alvarez aba lome aba uwali la Buyeii ya la buga ladiga leme ha pikiru aba lidi agano wa gidamo flash achil regali tiyaho fabati la furenderu nei ona glele luwadi mari Buyeii hamage Buyeii ha hilagwa yabe digeti diferencia le lani be ona gle ya wadi malu loy ondura loy balis la chube ona gle ya la diga buga uwali me la Buyeii agano utia aba lome aba le apikiru aba lidi merigo aba leredero ona gle agdahi wadag manu pero lau habafu Buyeii ha ahari hanya mai abati la furenderu nei ona gle luwadi mari Buyeii so yati wadi malu ani wadag manu gawara wa mutia duga kei Buyeii pero lau habafu Buyeii ha hilagwa yabai.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he said that they could do the work, but the name basically came from when people were in Belize and they will go to Guatemala or La Buga to get medicine or to get healed, you know, and the Onagle will send message to the people in Belize. So the messenger learns from the Buyeii. He learns the work that a Buyeii will do. So once a Buyeii is picked, once it's picked by the spirit, you know, and then the Buyeii, something, let's say he dies, something happens to him. The messenger stays there and he does the work of a Buyeii because he learned from him. But on the watch of the spirit, they help him, you know, until another Buyeii is picked again. You know, but he learns, the messenger learns the job from a Buyeii. But there's certain jobs that they could do, and there's certain jobs that they cannot do, you know, but they're just messengers. But they learn from the spiritual healer. They learn from the Buyeii by watching him, by basically doing everything that he does. Just they learn from him. They don't learn from the spirit like the same way a Buyeii will learn from the spirit. So that's what, you know, you say.
Okay.
Murusuru farara wana salira murusuru le la furender be onagle hamagie Buyeii ha hilagwa yabai.
Oh, okay. Oh, Hamagabuya. Okay, yeah. The stuff that the stuff that the messenger learns, he learns from the dead, the Buyeii that's already died, the Buyeii that has already passed away from the spirit. That's what he learns. That's what he learns from. Yeah.
So he can assist a Buyeii in his work, but he's also learning from a Buyeii who has passed. Is that?
Lida gunia onagle Buyeii, pero giate la dugane wadagam la duga Buyeii, but dame hilali Buyeii ligie. Ita idea.
No, mama iterali tele me ha uwali la me ha Buyeii ya me naruguti Castillo ligie me harara mu bay dida lilugar Buyeii ligi harara mu bay ariha logu wadag manu pero Buyeii ha hilagwa yabai hagia digwali wadag manu.
Okay. Yeah. The messengers learn from the Buyeii who have already passed away. Yeah, that's how that works. You know, they have already passed, so they learn from them. They do the work for them once they pass.
Okay.
So that's how.
Lida me ha da chindu dan ligia lu lowe naruguti aba narederu yala buga ke onagle aba narana mu uwar hama girgi hawena mu hama ya lu narihi lo wadagman kama hamuga Buyeii kama
okay.
o sea a representar aba figura lani aba Buyeii Mini la lira lunarihi loagu wala nimuru sukate feigwat wala nimuru sukate megiti lumati lu nidragunia ahari arenseri le harihi be lebga marihi no boy.
Okay, yeah. When his grandfather was a Buyeii. Once his grandfather, when his grandfather was a messenger, right? His messenger. Once his grandfather passed away, that title went to him. He basically oversees everything that happens because he's the next one in line. And yeah, so that's in a nutshell. His grandfather was a messenger. Once his grandfather passed away, and he was the next one in line to learn what his grandfather was doing. He oversees everything that happens to make sure everything's going well according to what the ancestors want spiritually.
Okay. His grandfather
Danila what
oversees. His grandfather oversees what he's doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
detile dele nyila wadang man le wayna muti nyu bititi buye meriga gie lu lige balara mala wadang man sarag bri wadang man ya kibri le mesi luma chugule abar giti aryebu ya aryebu rara mati name halu nuge bala ligi buge uwara hama hagirige ha wayna mo ya ba ha sugudi ti malwa guti hon nuge ti ni bisuanda hoba lu furme warg la katile siya hamale diga la de weya yala lu nuge bala ni da digi.
Okay.
The here the gidden.
Yeah. When there's a big work, when the work is big, and there's no Buyeii, there has to be sometimes the Buyeii from the Buyeii from the United States, they fly to Labuga to oversee the work because the messenger can't do it. It's a big work, But there's some works that he oversees, like I don't know how you call it in English, but like a mass, like a mass and all of that. He oversees those. That's what he does.
Okay.
But when the work is big, he can't do it. He has to be a Buyeii that comes from either the United States to go and oversees that job because it's a big work. It's a lot of taxes, so he can't do it.
Okay.
So kati ka ebu be niha ebu niha onagle kaha bi iri le hawagu be buyenu ebu kata badum ha muso la ulie na fe no ege lago kate like na liha no bilibu
But ebu dele la dagar bala ahri lo girigi. Gawara titi la guaru lu buye ebu. Dagati ahri lo. Sung girigi le lubi la dagaru ahri logu ebu. Anihiti ebu le hani na familia muna da guaru la dagar ahri hawagu. Anyahin ebu halutin chugu da buye baru bahadagar ahri hawagu. Anihiti buye lenyi lumhi la chilura dagati ahari logo ebu ge pero buye aniti amulueri ebu dele lonwe buye abaliabi lu lahureru lawadig maridu luma amu girigia ebu ge lagua hulu directamente ebu diga mama libuga buye ligia sendo que lebu buye
Mama lige meme ebu lo mama buye idea. Give it the gig aba bi hawo hongo ebu na ebu le mama sun ebu na buye no.
Sun giriga lelubi la dagaru ahri logo ebu.
Okay.
La diferencia dele ebu la girigia pero buye ge. Ebu ge buye. Lige meme. Ebu ge buye. La de dagate ahri logo. Pero de ti aninya la iri le buye es otro nivel. Amorli. Hurgutimahal.
Okay. Yeah, ebu and a buye sometimes it's similar, but buye is like he has more knowledge of the spirituality, Ebu, if Ebu, the spirit could get into him and he could see the spirit talk to him and stuff like that as an Ebu, but he could also do the work of a buye but it's similar. That's what he was saying. But a buye is a person that has so much knowledge of the spiritual aspect. He could do a lot more that an ebu cannot do. That's the two difference between.
Okay, so that's like the hierarchy. So Buyeii is higher
It's
than
the higher than
Buyeii, Ebu, and then messenger.
No. You have the Manafuruma ni ha buye there. Like it ni ha ebu. Like it el mensajero. Los tres niveles.
Furumeti Buyeii.
First one is buye.
Libia ma ebu.
Second one is ebu.
Ebu la diga lebu la Buyeii hilali.
Ebu. Okay.
Le awihal.
Okay. Ebu. Also, sometimes when let's say you got the buye, and the person is Ebu. Now, if the buye passes away, and then that spirit goes into the Ebu. Now the Ebu becomes a buye. That's
Okay, and the messenger would assist either one of them.
And the messenger will assist. Let the onagle. He'll assist the buye. Ma nihege onagle. Nebu. Ahen solo gino bay buye no ganti onagle. Or I think Ebu dia.
Lumage me frumeti dan lubare na bule dunai lumage ta frumeti dan anya hentia kiriga idera guti Buyeii lumage frumeti dan.
Oh, magam wow.
Lumage frumeti dan suanda ni laba kiriga loba Buyeii lu lidera gunai. Yati la bugaba ni me ati lahicha dumurele onagle. Do onagle be la hon ahari onagle mege lu lidera gunai Buyeii.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Como
no.
asistente. Es como asistente espiritual.
Okay. Yeah, no. The buye has always had a messenger, but that name messenger it basically was started in Labuga, But it's like he's like an assistant. He's like an assistant to the buye. But the buyes have always had an assistant right by their side. Just in Labuga, that name came out of Labuga, which is a messenger and stuff like that. But it's an assistant. They always had assistant, for since we can remember the buye.
Okay.
Ya Labuga mi betiam he grige lu lagu hum onagle la diga itare la harense ne ahari lu wala buliego abargente onagle lagu dan ligir aba oficialmente abarge onagle pero anya he idhati anya he idra guti kara ebu gani guti lu lidra guni abarge lu be mehati girige lembe lagu warua onagle lum meme ma foi diru la inebe sei luai lubara Buyeii aba lag dane onagle lubara Buyeii de wala lu meme la rihuni wa kamale ni Buyeii suanda.
Okay. Yeah.
Abarge lubai Buyeii onagle iridu.
Onagle. Okay. And back then there was only one messenger back then, but they were always helpers helping the buye back then, But there was always one messenger, and then as time went by, they started having more and more messengers. But it was only one back then. I believe it's only one.
Okay.
So okay, if na dume habun luagu kala wagu mibeli lubei afieni luagu lira na duma hege no go ide la diga ni he me abada gidate me ya afieni len mafiet na me hege luagu ningono le anu he nitia buye nitia na ebu funa nitia bulena nitia yagata trompo pero giben ye gigate wadu henyu mafini he logo ebu nile liga wahan lo ya sarago lo waduma habi logo lo waduma habi logo lo gala wagibu do logo kate le meha wa hadugo be wabugi we do hin bagi lo bagi dame mi magi
denari bay lida biami luvid logo lame hasub deragu giriga hongwa hasta kala haluga rubay lida fianile lerge me wauti wagamba ke anihi la Buyeii anihi la ebu pero hibri giriga ha jabo metida da Buyeii ba aba narihi ni la abide la haluga ruluma hadasi saragu girigi aba lubay na fagu luna burhane la wanihi la gibeti la gibe la dasi turagiru da Buyeii ba iamu ye wenaru giriga adu bali hibri hemu abo gutia ahari anua diruban liya kabala abo we eigini lu aba wadagman le weirit afarute garaun anua da wargutege anua da hawargutia mama frume waru girige lu hadgne dasilir arisa ruti anua da ruwargutige so detile michu wa masaragu samino logo lira nyingi la tatra afieni lu la walido dele abide la luagu ti estructura lani wani wafie won aba la fidrus afieni aba ejemplo jala buga siante la rengu girigia logo la Buyeii la mos la rufudune mos la rihunio mos la rairagu mos la muderu mos la rirama pero principalmente mos la rairagu lu warengu la Buyeii la lari yeti aba dando balisi Honduras ge nigara walowati ni subu di luago pero giriga agoro ti hongo la Buyeii hama iwoti bu bafu ligia hawago nyingi la tatira mafieni la diga la gumum he Buyeii duguti le wago nagamba Honduras ge atir dangwele rarigwati me giriga ligi araira guni mini la banyuru gulirugu lu haraira gusun ahari ha ajabo baya lau bugu bulu hayanu hon girigi moso la raira gu girigi lu warengu Buyeii la ahora que sans igual la dan gawarati la guara girigi lu wa que Buyeii pero mos la subdirone la hamuga ubafu liye luag so deti warengu yahi la gibeti ya Buyeii wele imabafu ti anyili abi mafieni iri le Buyeii mosan hila ba ubafu bagu do Buyeii but
yeah, no, a lot of people. I ask them why this not many non-believers, which you know, there's a lot of people that don't believe in them, you know. But a lot of people like in Honduras and other places, they call themselves Buyeii, but they actually are not. So a lot of them somewhat deceive people, and then they charge ridiculous amount of money. So a lot of the belief start to go away because they start to do this. They start to take advantage of that name. But a lot of people on Buyeii has to be shown. Once you become a Buyeii, you got to be shown to the public or the community or whatever. You got to be shown. But a lot of people take that name to themselves, and a lot of I heard it a lot because people tell me I don't believe in the Buyeii. I don't believe they lie, they do this, do that because again they do. A lot of them have lied, and a lot of them have claimed that name, but they're actually not. They don't have that dome. What we say, no, they don't have that with them, you know. But they lie to the public and say they are, you know. So that's why I ask him why there's a lot of non-believers on my book. And then my mother and my family are some of them because some of them go to see a Buyeii and they call themselves a Buyeii and they tell them something different that's actually not. So they lie. Mm-hmm. So in order to find that right Buyeii, you know, and then what to be what they don't about Buyeii. Porque ligue a dugube get na duma ha luego na experiencia ligue a dugube no. give it the girige you give it the buye no buye no you need the duma hanega hama luaku sun katele eibu go bela ni bagari amu tibi kate hengu no idea so idel bati bi la deirun wale le buye lu gala la dugni wadag mala lu bay la reso ni abagi kama nani experiencia biye idel bati la deirun no bigi so no yara la buga solo ya aba buye yara la buga dia aba gunye
aba buye ya wama anihi ngie aba ya wabiri ajabu hatia hiru haluma aba haguyu inyu fatia lumu la jabu hama so barua mutige ke buye so gawarati warengu lau lau laba inebe se le weiriti lau uro la buye ya la buga kinu bebe ubafu barufu dei ahin buye lui girigi arito ko matia ke buye la abala girige le gawarati larihi nei le lubi liabi aba girige le buye arihati kate le lubi liabi ligete buye dei lariha ni kate le lubi liabi so ahin sian lubali le lubi liabi eriha sianti hamugal la guara gulowa la buye la kaso mo la ren gulowa la e bunye la in ahari bala achilra gde subudi lu lichune ebu ani ebu mos lagura bahaliabi subudi mo lagura bah ahe buye lida dan ligia la chilra subudi lu magura bahati ni biama ni seng ni sisi ora lu liabi subudi lu buye lida dan ahe ebu mos lagura bah mos laguaru lu ahari le lau bay lu la rengu lu kala mege ani hebri ahari lige 17 ahe buye suanda nya la ahari ha reit lubadu lu dichi gu subudi ida lubati hadairu buye gwele wada geba hamuga latatirlir ahe ebu wabay lu warengu ebu la wagi gawara la videha mama lu warengu wowa buye wama idela chilirora sianti videha reiti wele videha dari haru
okay agobo hate ha buye lu hadugo wadagme
well no go bana dumre ha dele na frente rubali wadang manle abalaria guni wanu lau suna le lubi na digne siala na gubra halwa gula diga mafai hat na lalu nabihin subudili gawara la deve iruni wa sum katinu tu nafru lu nagai hani sande lu nagai hani kupali mama lu na gubra donación la bihi bebuye ya wadimal
okay yeah so he I asked him, do they charge the Buyeii charge? He said he talks about himself. So what they told him was that they don't charge at all, because what was given to him is given to him for free. So he's supposed to take care of other people for free, but they accept donations so they could buy candles. Basically buy stuff for their altar, but they're not supposed to charge, because the stuff that was given to them, they didn't charge for it. It was given for free per se, so you're not supposed to charge other people. So he's talking about himself in a way. And then he also said that a Buyeii, compared to an Ebu, a Buyeii, the message comes to him right away, because there are always spirits around him. Ebu, the spirit comes and go, right? And he has to wait for the message to come. If you ask a Buyeii a message right now, he will tell you the message right away. But Ebu has to wait for the message. Those are like the two differences, because the spirit of a Buyeii, they're always around him. Ebu, they're around, but they come and go. Sometimes they come and go.
Okay. So because I me personally, I've been through this experience where I've had a spiritual reading, And then again, you know, the Buyeii would start to charge a lot of money, you know, for ceremonies and things like that. Now, say you have a reading and the spirit says you need a ceremony or you need a type of bath or something to heal your situation. In that situation, does the Buyeii then request money, or does the Buyeii do everything for free? The bath, the ceremony, everything, you know what I mean? And then you give a donation. What's the proper way for that to be done?
Lengo wugule you do heno wule halara ni. Yeah. So ahenege lenga ahari le tu tebu de tengu tu lu busela wugule le Messi o lu la digu aba kate weiti. Uset la subuni ahen agobo hati en lube ge buye ni lagu sun kate lira daga gibet de ge busete subuni kate lira daga ligebi hanufa du be ge hide habi buye no sara lebi sensu lebi hagobo ha baby lagu bi sun wadagmen lebi adugu.
So, bueno, luego me habla tan dele natatru belida wadam le ahari me ha dele sun hali wadam manu ge me harengu atri bela logo wadam mama me gaba since wait so abala la sansre gudan aba home gu habinado hati iseri wele ani begi yuti lu hichu nem diga afro ni garau grewit aremo ni grewiti aboguni malarense hu sunkate lu la nugo wadagma no flash grewiti fisicamente pero Buyeii wati leni subudi wati uma ligia lula rengu Buyeii atri la wadagma.
Yeah, so
gawarati la samina Buyeii lagu hasabunte luma hasugara haluma hajabu la mege banyala somkate hasula lichuguni wa somkate hon pero ahe lu Buyeii wati emeri lira yala buga wati emeri lira lula rengu bishige me tanto no lagu wadangman wati emeri lira tagag dergu Buyeii sensu lagu lidabla Buyeii le badewa halu pero afro di garau aremo hatia sumbri girige hara amu lueri houseru ne habafu luma harihi ne haruga higiru no haba uore tibwa sugara uoti sabun uoti ara ni mege bay murusu gawana lu hanungu ne habium uoti mege ti luagu lira la diga itra gubenyi abiha gubaiti angirigia murusu kate hongwa lari hawadi maridu tida da Buyeii rigi lu magua rulaya begi.
yeah, and Buyeii is not supposed to charge at all. This is donation. The medicine come from herb nature and stuff like that. But when you're doing like a mass that requires so many food, requires people that sing, requires drummers, right? Yes, you got to pay, but it's not going to be like a tremendous amount of number. It's not going to be a lot of money for those because you have to take care of the drummers, you got to take care of the singers, because you got them singing. Back then, no, but nowadays the times have changed now, But now you need to take care of the drummers and take care of the singers and also the food that's there. Those are not free food that's there, but the spirit is the one that tells the person how much it's going to be. The person or the Buyeii or person, she don't say the price of. She can't just throw out a price like that. That's not the way it works.
Okay.
That's what.
Log me abadan. Ahari me ishu vali lebegir berese. Ahi wele girigi hanya.
Yeah, back then it was a spirit that gave the price of the work. Right now, it's a regular human being person that's giving the price of the work. It's more expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people don't believe in them nowadays. A lot of people don't believe in them because you charging like $5,000 and 10 grand and charging a whole bunch of money to take care of the individual and stuff. But dume hawama to libuto aliha now to libuto babu de bonkalawago babu don I asked him about the book he wrote. He wrote actually a book, a spiritual book. Yeah, I read it. It's an awesome book. I asked him what inspired him to write that book.
Na burha baru livro tura na tatru burha 1996. Dia na tatru la diga narihi la wina muganya la brimiha idu ha hila wayamba wele la chilu bala dan lu uwalimela subudi lira wama la diga madumre ha habai hon frume war lumati dito la dan legwele gibeli bulie igwe gibe ya giriga amu hali hanungni ya fiye ni le abati nafa gulu na burha lidegele na bagari dube luma le narihi be lugawara laru hali hanere giriga lu hargid murusuru garabali tidagi libru to.
Okay, yeah, he wrote the book in he wrote the book in 1996. He wrote the book, and he wrote the book and all the knowledge he inquired, all the stuff he learned, because a lot of the elder people were passing, were dying, and there's a lot of people don't have the right understanding of this the spiritual path, So he ended up writing the book for those people because again, I read the book and I was going through similar stuff that was going on in the book, and he was always my guide every time I needed him. Every time I needed to talk to somebody, he always guided me step by step because I didn't have nobody else to go to at that time. Him and Ingrid Gamboa, they were like the two people that was guiding me along this path, So, but yeah, he wrote the book for people like myself and all those people who doesn't have no understanding, no knowledge of this this path, of the spiritual world. Because again, nobody taught me that. Nobody taught us the spiritual part of it. But his book work, he helped me a lot. So that's why he wrote it.
What's the title of the book?
Kati libu tua.
Palabras de Onagle. Lerero Onagle.
Words from a messenger.
Okay. Is the book on Amazon? Can we find it on Amazon Prime? And
Google for free.
No, on Google. The book is free. You don't have to pay for nothing. You can just download the PDF. Just type the name of the book there. You can read it. The book is free. He didn't charge for it. He wrote the book for again, people like myself and all of that.
Okay.
And kati dam batatia eremu hoye numuti emo tibula abu tibula itia idele bagile.
Ami dikati le. Well, luma ge frume tidan 1970 na tatraremha munad. Den narihine gawara gwaba nala nungwa lida abana tatiru alha kabala uma nahuri raurem. Pero la badna wati sun lira aba hari hanina ahari tu dabuyo.
Oh, liga bigyo bani.
Ni la dira gwa ere leb nanagi belu wairi badnala lida musik.
Okay.
The siati the abala chilu dalu narihi lau siabela anaha lame achugu ha ugunye haruga anaha melida ba concert. Madai numuti liswini. Ladiga dele nafar hongiri ya nabin haba natuba mos na fala sun lueri lubido negao. The hechu tegiri yelo. Mos tinadigni, you know. Entonces, dabuye barugi lubid niabi madinamat.
Hmm. Yeah, no, he started singing. He's a singer. He started singing in 1970. He came with a group of people, but during that time, the Spirit came looking for him. So he left that. He left that. He left that alone because it didn't make no sense to him that one day he'll be at a club singing, and the next day he'll be at the temple with the Buyeii doing work. He'll either be drinking or doing other things. So he had to leave. He had to leave that other part of his life
So he
so
had
he
to
could
choose.
focus.
What
He had
was
to choose.
was it a difficult choice for him to make that decision? Because he probably loves singing, and then now he gets this calling from the ancestors to do this spiritual work. Was it a difficult choice for him?
Era una decisión difícil.
Yeah, say,
Yeah.
give it nidit na yage la buagi aba nidi lu balising aba nal de yage mabuso nagambu to da buyab aba nidi luti na ahora ni luma bime mohabob maimi sumbri boys wara afrad na magidara ni hama madaira gutna nungo buid la sulira aba nafa gulu nidi mehigu lu nidi yagi lu na digni ni bagari kei aremot well siant most were naharu to the buyab.
Okay. Yeah. No, it was difficult. It's crazy. He tried to run away from it. He ended up going to Belize to try to sing with a whole bunch of people over there in Belize, but things weren't going right. And then from there, he ended up going to Mexico to try to start a life in the music game. But everything went bad for him. He couldn't become that singer that he wanted because it didn't go right. So he had to return back to Guatemala, to La Buga, to back into the temple and follow that path and stuff. So
daleti la chilwe abadan a que hise lube uremunu rume aba na tatu remu ala saba na frenderu afra guitarra, afra bajo, afra bateria a diga remu aba na saminaru logo aba ritmo le luti mabu chogube la luma espiritualidad aba narihi lau ani la aba ritmo le girbe paranda y ani la mi aba la gumu weya limutu ya afur di paranda mal halila me lu loe u ali me la paranda ya la bu aba ti nargdene paranda lu nishu i bagari lu nyinge ti nabiha uma hamo ya hari lu nafa ya Europe Centro America lugar lá ni de afara música pero lá o paranda mama bakati lelani na chagagwa lani na de lich do mensaje lá o paranda.
Okay. Yeah, he found a genre that didn't interfere with the spirituality of a music. We call it paranda. Paranda is not like any other genre of music like punta rock and all that stuff. It's different. It's like messages and stuff that the ancestors approve of him singing. So they gave him permission to follow that. He ended up basically traveling to Europe, and he traveled the world singing paranda. But from the heave of the ancestors gave him path to do that. They gave him path. They gave him a permission to do because he loved to sing so much. So he found a genre of music that didn't interfere with other work that he was doing.
Okay, so he's still
paranda tradicional.
Yeah, traditional paranda, because every genre of music changes, man. They start adding stuff into it. Yeah, traditional genre.
La paranda tradicional babu gorg ba farai babu gorg baremo sea mamege ruti ba atta gutia bobagi babu gorg taw bigi dara so wotiti saragu chagagu.
Yeah, traditional paranda is like you sang by yourself with your guitar. There's not that many there's not many drummers. It's just you by yourself with your guitar. There's not people drinking and stuff like that. That's a traditional paranda.
oh, oh. Wave Africa, yeah. Wave Africa, oh, oh, oh. Wave Africa, yeah. Be your mama, be your mama, be your mama, be your mama. Wave Africa, oh, oh, oh. Wave Africa, yeah.
So I want to ask some questions about the ancestors and stuff like
Okay.
that. You know what I mean? So Juan Carlos, you know, I'm an African from America, and here, you know, the culture is obviously very different. You know, I don't really find that we're very spiritual here. But say you're an African in America and you want to connect with your ancestors. Is that possible?
Lo que quiero saber es que él es afroamericano de los Estados Unidos y muchos afroamericanos que están aquí ya no tienen esa conexión con sus ancestros por la esclavitud, ¿no? Él quiere saber cómo él o los afroamericanos que viven en América o otro lado del mundo pueden conectarse con sus ancestros como nosotros los garífunos lo hacemos.
Bueno, según la lengua chumaga, todo es posible ya.
Everything's possible. Everything. The Muribum.
Le naribe, lumo la susere dulira, mos lalu honiwa, afien, anihi la hada gebri, grimha, rede tilelani na Afrika duo hada. Lausum meriga la hamwa hagri huwa pero, wena lidate wena diliabikati. Afien na anihi la aba hada ye, lu huali bela lu saminu lir. Pero que ualai gabri ligia mani ule lungo. Somoso moti laria hun dirigele afien bela ubulira afien anihi la pero logo la isure lubie adagar gdhon la gubrigu you know la tenir hon la gubrigu susere tilir pero mos bidi habi girigia hagia luba subdiruni la anihi la nyinge bahamuati hondara ibna bauro gadre bigma hadere bugudene afien ni ligia lugawara bila hayara fadu hayuna guhum.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's very deep. He basically just said anything is possible, but because a lot of them don't practice that, the spirit stay quiet. They very silent. You know, it has to be a person that believes heartily in them, that believes in, you know, that lights the candle for them or put food for them and stuff like that. You also got to be a light. Mahualiba, I don't know how to say it in English. Mahualiba, or you have to be like they got to be able to like I don't know how to say it in English. Most Mahualiba home, like the spirit gotta be able to like I can't even say it in English. I don't think there's a word for it, but he said this. If he said anything is possible, and then that person also has to go find a medium or a shaman or somebody that could tell them, yes, you have those spirit around you, and then you got to gather with your family together, light a candle, so the spirit could, I guess, become more alive and more part of your life per se. You know, I don't think I answered your question, but yeah, that's mainly what he said. Yeah.
Okay. So what is the purpose of the candle on the altar?
Kalawagu lebedua sanudelo. Él no entiende el propósito de la candela para qué es.
Okay, el tema importante de lebedua basanudelo lo barini la wani laba anichu. La diga le ligemeri ya arufu dubali la wani la nichugu ke weyu de la bochu weyu aba lichugu lampu igemeritile la rufu dunyen la rita gwaga denye dibu la wani la ba nichugu ni ani la ba iderebu ni la ba lampu lu boibu lari lu boibu lida la rugunga lu boibu lida rumani dige lebe dubai sanu de lule lu barita gune awani la lampu ligi la ni la subudi ani la nichu.
Yeah, no, the light is basically, you know, their light. You know, you turn the light on, you turn it. It's like the sun and the moon. So you turn the light on, so you'll have that knowledge of self per se. You know that there's a light and there's a you understand somewhat the culture and is there a light? That's my understanding. That's the light of the answers. Malige hegemony be aharidia. Gela
Lige merbe ahari ko lige merge anichuguni. Lula chilru bisamina lumo bungi sin lampu lira greve be la chilru bisamina la wani la ba bungi lige la gabafu be luba la bishi sungi nebesei. Bianca telemo la goba igemeri lula bochu samino buiti bida luma tiluge lula bochu la afien bala bungiu la lige la gabafu be ani hala lampu lichu bu lu baibu loy bachugero.
okay, yeah. The light represents, like you said, the light. You have so you have an understanding of this of the culture, spirituality, the light. You know, but that's what I learned. You know, that's basically what I learned from reading his book and learn from other people. Is normally the light. It's hard for me to break that down. You know, it's difficult.
My understanding was that the light was a gateway. It was a way for the ancestors to be able to find you and know where you were when you lit the candle. So it was almost like you're saying, it's like a switch. It's like it's a gateway that allows them from the spirit world or their resting place to be able to find you and know where you are.
Lenega la feno be wugile lenega ofu the hobe lu lenega sanudelu le ofu the hobe lu lenega sanudelu es como lugia la nega hadeiro ni bahari da bebe de ban sanu ligia nega hagemi ni belu nega hadeiro ni belu nega hegen ni belu nega asubu no hale ya de bula after lu le biheme idia du nega gela hadeiro ni ligia nega la subu de wugile lu agu parte lire. Mama ligue meme para it's the same. Yeah. It's different meaning of it, but yeah, that's what it is.
Biamargenti narengu lidagi leti mal many be luma bule dagu bala anihila hanichugu. Aniti bakipura hanichugu le many gubu basub dirne lao hage merilage ligege harengu be ya won behmentia igemeri.
Yeah, it's just yeah, it's basically, it has a lot of meaning. What he broke down right now, it's just a small portion of it. But that's also the meaning that that you say, that they can find you and stuff like that, and gateway. So it has a lot of meaning though. The candle has a lot of meaning. He just spoke a little bit of it. So
can he explain the purpose of feeding the ancestor, giving them food, and then also explain why you would give them a bath and things like that? Could he explain those two processes?
Busete wile la subu niga subu ni mutu busete wile la subu ni kala wago la de gono egini hon ahari idele la hegini ni dia kala ge wago bi la dugono ago ni hon idele la hagon hagon ahari wote go franga la nuge subu ni idele la busete wile la subu ni bumage luhe wugele la busa la tuma ya bum.
Aye, frumeti luwa subdirune lao lela wanishugule lula lagda haniwa ke girigia ha farara wati. Frumeti luwa subdirune lao sunla lacharagu le umbe wagu ha chugu Itala lira que aba escuela luwa furenderu de wadagar gede igini wa furenderu ya la mosla wichugu luwa wabihi bida la deve iruni wa tida da sun le asusa de betia da bueba itale que aba escuela lida bien euro way ba furenderu wa dumre hebereru o becho do bala furen a dumre hebereru badirbu banangu dele bidi beyebu aresi bre aduga hati aluba furende runi lau gabaga rigidu wala lida ge barana y sun le anu be flasu tía da bueva es un ejercicio de vida. Entonces min la lida lu mabuli da guama lu iwanasi get mata importante belu wasami no ni logo dele ni la aba katikilira deleti hagun ahari ligi meme getige lu warita gwag niwa lau anihi la harumani anihi lage iwieni deti lagun ahari larita gwag ni diwa lau anyahi guela buseti ahari leigi buseti latu diabilida wena di lu meme mabuli dagu wama hawei mabuli dagu wagie meloi kala buga wegi lahichan wanasi lula wichi derebu lu sumanda es lira Italia hamo que aba lección guada que garina gu farando wa muti buidu la weseru duna to ahari karuma dala wadahiro non tanangu subuti wonta sansira wala pero lira ti won ke lu wa furenderu nei la wanyahin la yenyahin la amu girige gati wadigni lira hon ibini moye gi la gawarati wichi gu hegi gawarati wadabru murusu duna hun lu hagon gawati vidra guni sumbri la susedu lira lu meme migiri wa mane girigi ya duwe lu lida badi wala aba suanda deti wayan wala agoni meramente espiritual amuti lachara gulira won ke garina gu wiri derebu guti anishigu ni lira digati de wadigna lira kek bergan mua awahan larihe aharli dida moni samina logo be famu fana gufaranda lana wigile
No, nuge así, pero mosu, dame algunos ni video de na dume ha volumo lu gwele obe gufran la no gwele ha ne glo gwele dame algunos yigeba nege lu murusuro pero nuge gufran no mote la de gwele obe gufran la ni so
yabe kate siantige na faraga dunei sungu ilu ladiga ami gwena giti gufaranda wamane ubo ime nani waba kate le amu bila labruha wamu bila gufaranda wala pero sun garinagu subudi hamuti kala wege wago gida aba ahari aba irumu lagu yu girigia aba lagiri budagu lula chibu ni wa lura lari buga biabi ugubule lubuga labuge halamua aba katile mayan huwa ditila diga greve ti lugu faranda wala si
lige
wa bagari duni abi ahari larengu bu vieti nura buset na nagon bago gdeni larita gwagdni dibu lau yula baseri biha la bichu gulu baba bihi lichu aba ejercicio de vida won luma bule dagwa ma lau anihi lage bu vieti yagta yula gelu la bihi somkate so logi etilira biabi ide mwe largi bagufliru baruf dune ke bu inebela murusu lia parte lebu aba hidra guni bahari lu badaira gubungu pero la diga buati uha dibula chansi gulu bichu hichugu luba furenderu nei lira luge bichugu hon sarab girigi.
Yeah, it's like an exercise of the mind. Different cultures, like us, Garifuna, the way we understand different things. That's why they say you might not be able to understand that because different cultures, different thing. It might be similar, but we do different things. So when when a person dies or passes away, and he's buried, a year later he comes and he wants to, in our culture, and he wants to get like a bath, right? But it's like you it's like basically you have an understanding of what the culture is, so you won't forget that he was once here, per se. You know what I'm saying? So that's what sometimes they want food and they want bath, but like you give to them, it's like a knowledge you giving to them so they could be able to give to you. It's like an exercise of the mind. Okay, you did this to me, and now I'm gonna do this for you. So that's my understanding of this. It's hard to understand. It's hard to explain. But me as a Garifuna, I know why we do it, right? You know what I'm saying? But it'll be hard to explain to a person who of an African descent or other, because the cultures are different, but at the same time.
No, it's very similar to what I've witnessed in Africa as well, because to me that's what a ritual is. It's an exercise of the mind to help you connect with the unseen, and that's what a ritual is. You know what I mean? So it's I've witnessed the same thing in Africa. They do they leave plates for their ancestors, and they share meals with them. So it's I haven't seen them give a bath, but I've definitely seen other things like that. So I think it's very similar to Garifuna culture. So that's
Lari giti ago ni lira abage la dara ruaba bena lua hariligia luliabi ide.
Oh, he said once you give him a bath, there'll be a door open. There'll be like an open door, so he could come and help.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
That's
yeah.
So can he I witnessed in Africa, and I asked questions in Africa about the drums in their culture, and they would always tell me that the drums was a gateway as well to the ancestors and to spirit. Do the Garifuna view the drums in your culture in the same way?
Wugula lutu to wugula eda yagata Africa ayagata hama bi gege ha subuti to hun logo bi budu bi sun ka to lutu wugula ereti yin leti katile la fe no be le la lutu be wele kala mini be da wafo ga on yagata Africa le mini be da hafun gege ha garao lige memene lunege la daru nege bena hon akhari do hayabi ya on pala awage te garin bu amutlimini katelde hawaii gige hayagata be Africa lige mem
Garão de la isru garão da buia bargo ani luege le umbe hanega chumaga na terapia musical o chumaga no de la dan garão da buia bargo ani luege iguama ya wadimalu ani haba laniki garão wagu halu girigeli
the heart of the drum. Yeah,
garão ligia lanigi garão igirige ge ligia lanigi ge garão lagurulu. Entonces girige tile subusti tilu idalu bala la fornei kabala umalali liche lo garão le luma geti bien le lobo ge bei lu heibu lobo lu malali garão le lu gawara bela di dala hafa ya ahari lo gundu ligia yabi bei ritmo le lu lenege bila hung to be lu bege la hung la lebri wafor be da fed uma daru ahla howat to leti afar bitida dabu yeba mahala hoti le afar bitida dabu solo lume la tati dalila gumchu lume wale bugu umala lele ke tad hanigi tele la der garau da buebaru ke tad ha banigi ang beri sandi di bulbe wari balla garau banu nyirgi balla sansir go lumalal pero tad ha nigi lad ha garau turagiru da buebaru diga digan hilwi la nigi garau aba unrunile luma la tatru dari lagumchu lira tichu be huali go lu hadaira go ahari hongwa jabi ti sisira lu tasumu duhani lumalali garau le po tadha nigi bigela nigi lube garau hagu halu garau lige le amida nibe lu lige bala ichige samina lige lau tawnya duala anigi duma rumani turagiru dabuye lige anhi lube garau dabuye baru lu larita wagda ni wala wanigi bala lu tajabu hani diga tumala li anigi lira gdbe garau tuk 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 jawa dimal mahala huti kemo lahala chu garau balisi o ondura ahiano aba umalali tumalali anigi
Okay. Yeah.
garau yeti conectar bali wadaira guongwa ke girigia lida aba umalali.
Okay, yeah, the drum basically brings us together. They call it the heart of the drums. The heart of the drums. Basically, when they play the drum, it's like showing that you're doing everything from your heart. You know, also brings people. Again, it's different meaning. It also brings people together. In La Buga, the drum has one beat. Like they don't have no breaks. Like in, let's say in Guatemala, let's say in Belize or Honduras, they have different breaks of where they play the drum. But in La Buga, the drum play in one rhythm, you know, one rhythm. It doesn't have a break. But it's a meaning of like you playing it with your heart, that you're doing everything with love and care inside of the buoy, inside of the temple. You know, that's the meaning of the drums over there. In different places, different meaning. Like I said, you know, in La Buga is different meaning, Africa different meaning, and so it's different. But that's the meaning of playing the drum inside of the Buyaba in Guatemala and La Buga and stuff like that. So
Abacate. Ami wenrti lengru garau da Buebaru ya Centro America.
Ligene ubulugele.
Pero aba emery ligie dido be ligie memeum dido anigi dele la gara ragu garau balisi dele hafaru ne dum to le garara wole hadigi boy tani nage anigi amuti hafaru ne pero suana ni la anigi dida sunkate la de tanigo dabuya ba lararama sun garaunle su andamos la lidi garaunle ido tanigi dabuye sa sun katele lubi la nugu flasu lau garaun ida dabuye ba anihu anigi la bana lugu farando amani lau aniha la tanigi dabuye ba aniha la nigi garaun anuha wanigi ida ti wagara ragu aba wosra guduni círculo ligia tawa nigi to unidad.
Okay. Yeah, they might play the drum differently in Belize and Honduras and different places, but it still has one meaning. You still playing it with your heart. It's like unity. You're still bringing unity. They might play the drums different in Belize and different in Honduras, but you still have that unity and also it has to be from the heart of the Buyeii, but the heart of the time you're playing everything for your heart. That's what he was saying right now. So yeah, man, I don't know if you want to cut it almost 2 hours. Nihin,
I'm good.
Nihin dimure babu serulu berengu ni la diga wagumo chatia lu berengu ni lu he kata kusema berengu ni wala honsu denu go honsu griga lu hagamu ni bumalali.
Bueno, nishu sereme lu sunti gabafu sereme hun ahari lumatilu namuri ha wama sungu alwagu lu wafagu luti malefe ke chuwagu luma wasamina tagoba metuma wanigi warita gune luagu buga I deve se le lichu be ubo le won du wa furende rune buga nichu guni le lan no be spiritualia abargi lidege abakate le abisun spiritualia le ubo gube lidege ubo wa la furende rua sun anichu guni le I ubo le lida yaba wara gwati luma wa idra gwati luma wa mua duna watu garabali idra gwati hamawu nige bola furenderua sun anichi gunile lu wafagu wagia lere wali be lu ahari lu la chilru wamu lu wafagu wagufuliru dida lu budu lu wafagu wadu ni kate buiti le lube la rederu home haba halube me hayabi wari yegu mwaigo du hamamuga dido la degera gubo la degera guma le maduna wadibe dige hamuga na buseru belu wada bela suanda lu wabara gumba di wala dida sunkat serem
no sereme ge ne bo le ne belu gile da lage na tatu ni suai bugun le solo ge biama o malali na gamba biama ge ida gwana buguya saga na ombu saga dona hamasa habu fuerza te beja bona hamasa habu lu bicho explain logo sun kate hasta que Ingrid Gamboa utnega serementu Ingrid Gamboa yara la buga ida got mane ge lo agus suai bunile tiga subi bal sun kate le nas gube ya na bugwa idia so guna watne te wa yala wonde ya ura lu wadume halagu sun katele sereme gene bodu bichni subudi bun lu gala hagamu ni gige bu malali
serem